See, what they don't know is they're tuning in to DBYT podcast. My name is Taisha Hines, and this is my show where I'll explore the ins and outs of the world around me. You can tune in every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Welcome to DBYT. I'm your host, Taisha, and on tonight's episode, we'll be discussing burnouts in a relationship, emotional detachments, learning from past relationships, and so much more. I want to thank everyone who's tuning in for the first time and those who continue to support my visions. If you have missed any of my episodes, don't worry. They are still available everywhere that podcasts can be heard. And with that being said, let's get into it. Welcome back. We here with Laquan and Clarence. All right, so we about to get into these burnouts in a relationship. Have any of y'all ever been through that stage where you just stop caring in your relationship?
Yes.
And how was that?
Extremely draining. It's always draining. I almost feel like I'm obligated to stay.
I like efficiency. And once I notice that you're not putting in as much effort into this as I am, I'm going to talk to you about it. If I don't see any changes, I feel like it's just talking to a brick wall at that point. And so I think it's best that if we sit down, talk about it. And if you feel like you're not doing anything wrong, cool. I will separate myself from the situation because I know from seeing other people, staying in a relationship that is just like one-sided can be taxing and like it looks like it ages you.
The separation part caught my attention. I found myself doing that. Like if I do try to talk to somebody, I feel like either their attention is elsewhere or they're not as interested in me as I am in them. I will fall back with no question. Like it's not that you're ghosting them. It's more so like I'm just trying to save myself from getting hurt at the end of the day. Like, have y'all ever felt like an emotional detachment from somebody?
Those were my relationships in high school. I guess it was just like my high school mentality back then, like, oh, you need people to like you. You should want to have all these friends. And it's just like, I was trying to be friends with people who I particularly did not quite like. Now, I'm just like, if we friends, that means I genuinely like you as a person. Not anything superficial or surface level, like, I genuinely like you as a person, and I can't put that much energy into something that's superficial or materialistic.
If I could piggyback on that one, I actually am. I want to say I'm an expert at doing such things, but for me, I can be emotionally detached from a lot of stuff sometimes because sometimes I have a lot going on mentally. So I will literally just kind of push out of nowhere sometimes and be like, oh, you forgot you were here with your family, Clarence, wake up. They love you. They're not here to harm you. Especially as far as friends, like I've never been one much to care for people to like, in a way, not to like me. Because everybody says that, but in reality, we all have a longing for placement and wanting to be somewhere. I have situations right now that I'm realizing like, wow, all this time it's really been me giving you so much and really y'all was doing whatever whoopie woo. So now that's why I'm really becoming a lot less detached and becoming more with my feelings to understand where people stand and how when they show you, listen.
I definitely agree with that. And also with like, I don't know why this like reoccurring thought keeps coming into my head, but like even with whether it's a relationship or a friendship, it's like the Tyler Perry thing. What did he say? He was saying something about the seasons. Some people are meant to be in your life for forever. I mean, it's just as simple as that. Like I have people from kindergarten, like you being one of them, Clarence, like you're still in my life. So it's like I have kindergarten friends that will most likely be here for forever. Then I have people that will drop off like leaves because I mean that's just what happens. And it's like I also noticed this year that some people in your life that you think will be there forever and they just won't be due to different circumstances and people not really respecting you as a person when the hardships come through. They don't realize your worth. and they don't want to really listen to your side or your reasoning to actually stay there. They want to be heard, but they don't want to listen. And I felt that it was important for me to realize that I am worth being heard. What I'm saying and how I'm treating you is genuine, but you don't see that. So to save all the hardship, I'm gonna drop off and stop going through the motions with you, because it's not worth it at the end of the day. I think that our mental stability is everything. So I feel like once people start showing you their real colors and stuff, and if you need to let them go, you just got to, because it ain't even worth all that.
I talked to you about this, Taisha. Like, I learned this a lot from you. Like, you can only put up with so much for so long. And so if you're not willing to put up with it, don't, because it's not going to benefit you. It's not going to better you as a person from that situation in order to help yourself grow. Because I feel if you just sit there and endure the same mess every day, it's not going to help you grow as a person. So I don't see the point in being near that person anymore.
With both of what y'all said, I do totally agree with it. But I have a question. So me personally, I have a problem with always trying to know in a way. Like me trying to know why did they do this? Is this like, should I kind of pay attention to how they're doing me? Is that something that I see in myself that I don't like? So in a way, do y'all sometimes kind of feel like you missed out on the opportunity, and or it's supposed to be something learned in a situation where there's technically no growth?
I believe if I want to know something about somebody, I just ask them. I'm a firm believer if you have a question, ask it, because people can't read minds. So I just ask a question, and if I like the answer, if I don't like the answer, will determine a lot of things.
Yeah, I do agree with that, even though I'm probably one of the worst overthinkers that I do know, especially when I don't understand. I will take a situation and make it into 20 different outcomes before I'm like, why doesn't this add up? And I'm over here worrying about things when I could just be like Quan and just be straight up. But sometimes, depending on the situation, it's hard for me to do that. Did we answer your question?
Yes, like
Okay.
y'all answered it in two different ways, and I understand because with Quan saying that, it's like even with the questions, like sometimes, like we said, people put a facade, and some people are true deceivers, and they like that's their craft, that's what they do. So they'll still tell you something, and you'll be like, okay, yeah, that sounds good. But I also see what he's saying, because if I like it enough, even a deceptor can't get past the truth. And like, if you don't see any growth and they're telling you things that is shaky, like you can just see that. And with what you said, it was the hardship and stuff. Like I see that too, because I'm a big overthinker too. I'll be thinking that I'll be knowing stuff, without really asking as well. So that's one of my points where I need to get stronger at, with actually communicating with people. But I also feel as if I am spiritual sometimes, very spiritual religious. So I feel like sometimes I can literally feel them. So it's like I know already. So me asking you is just gonna kind of irritate me for staying around, but trying to feel that out and trying to actually, instead of tackling the problem, I try to work around the problem to solve it. But that sometimes makes a big knot.
Yeah, I think going straight to the source, it can solve a lot, but also, like y'all say, people lie, people try to deceive you. So I think you should take everything with a grain of salt, and you look at their actions and you match it up with their words, and you see, is what they're telling me matching up what they're doing? Because everybody can lie, but you can't fake what you show people, if that makes sense. Like I can't pretend to go out there and be a basketball star knowing know good and well I can't play basketball. But my height and the way I'm built will tell you, oh, you played some type of sport. Have you played basketball? I can lie and say yes. And that's it to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was just about to say, as soon as I ask you and as soon as you give me that answer, I'm watching. I'm watching to see if you grow, progress, show some kind of inkling that you register what I just said to you. And are you putting in the effort to show me that you're willing to, one, fix the issue, and then evolve from that issue.
I do that as well. Like I actually, I don't know. It's almost like I do exactly what you're doing. I just do it backwards. Like I observe first, and then I'll get to asking questions because I just be feeling like I just already know since I already did my observations and questioning and things. Like I ask certain questions. I'm very detective. Like when I first meet people because you just never know.
Within like meeting people and actually starting to hang out with them, I try to pick up on their patterns and their behaviors, their habits, because I am so intrigued in learning people. Like I just like to know, like, oh, when they do this with their hands, this is what it means, or when they say this, they're gonna do this next. Like I just love doing it. I don't know why. Like now that I'm saying it out loud, it sounds kind of weird.
It's not. It's just like psychological work. We all have a psychologist in us. You know, just sometimes they jump out.
Yeah.
I do have a question though. When y'all do reach our burnout stage and like, or if y'all in a relationship and you're like, dang, I'm thinking about breaking up with this person, like, how do you not get to that point where you're not regretting somebody or hating them due to their habits or their ways?
I feel like hating someone, you'd have to do something terrible for me to hate you, because I don't hate many people. Literally, I can count on one hand how many people I hate, and it's probably two. But I don't think you'd have to do something extremely, I guess, disrespectful, hurtful, or harmful to me, because I'm willing to always separate myself from an issue if there is an issue. Because I believe, and I was raised that you shouldn't just sit in toxicity. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. You shouldn't just allow yourself to seep in that mess, because in the end, it's doing more harm to yourself than anything else. So yeah.
You know, I've noticed this year the word toxic has been thrown around religiously. What does that even mean for real, for real? Being toxic. What do y'all understand what that means? Like, can y'all explain that to me?
So with me actually encountering what we call toxicity or what I feel is toxicity, I would call it something that is very centered on one idea. And that idea does not change. That idea would never waver. And this is not in the sense of like a tunnel vision, but almost as a sense of like, let's say you eat cinnamon raisin toast and I like regular toast. I'm open to eating regular toast. You're not. That's toxic. We are not on the same page. We're like, it's butting heads. It's just butting. It's just stuff that don't work. I don't know.
So are you saying like a fixed mindset versus an open one? Like they're not willing to change their ways? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like and not in a way that you should change your ways too, because you can also look at it from the other side of you're changing your ways for somebody who won't. So in a way that could be toxic as well. I mean, as far as people not actually understanding that other person and actually playing game like a chess game, like that's what's toxic. Because I've seen it, I've actually kind of done it sometimes. So that's how come I'm trying to explain it. I can't really put my hand on it, but yeah, it's almost like you're playing life with chess pieces.
From my experience with being toxic, it's mainly for me that you're openly trying to get not just a reaction, but you're antagonizing a person, or you're doing things on purpose to trigger things. And I feel like that kind of environment, if you let it fester, takes a mental toll on somebody, because you make the person may not feel like they're being toxic. You might just feel like they're doing it to be spiteful or petty, but they don't see the repercussions. And me myself had to learn this year that sometimes my pettiness is toxic. So I've tried to work on it and be a better person than who I usually could be. I just think it's when you intentionally try to cause harm to in a social environment. Yeah.
What you saying, openly get the reactions and all of that stuff, I kind of came to this. Some toxic is something that does not help the betterment of that person and or the group. And if it's not helping, then it's hurting. So toxic. Because why are we not helping the betterment?
So okay, for example, if my boyfriend isn't listening to me, but he's listening to other people say the same thing that I said, is that toxic?
Yes. Oh.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah.
All right. I
Oh.
just had to, because I'm just trying to make connections with examples, because that's how I learn. So because we are a team, him doing that is being a bad like layer on us. Is that kind of okay? So anything that's like kind of negative to the
because
group, I got you.
because like for instance, what are they saying different than what you're saying?
Absolutely nothing.
Exactly.
Okay.
So in a sense, that's like your words have no value to him.
Right. Which means like, why are we together?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just making little connections.
Yeah.
So also with that, like, do y'all have any signs to where y'all are burnt out or where y'all don't want to do it anymore? Like, how do you not get to that place? I just don't know how to get to the place where I don't care anymore. Because I think I lose interest very quickly. And I've tried to work on that, but it's like so hard to be like constantly trying to make sure you're interested in someone when you're actually not.
That could go into how you said you're an overthinker, because I actually have that problem too. Like sometimes I will like outthink myself into actually liking something that I know I would like, or something that I know I want to do, due to the fact of the opinionated group, which is also toxic to yourself as well, not listening to yourself. I mean, and me, I had to let that go too, and literally not care. Is not caring is truly an art. It's a gift and a curse as well. So you have to learn when to cut it on. You got to learn when to cut it off. You just got to be really in tune with how you feel, really, in order to not care. Because you can not care from a point of love.
Yeah, I've had one man tell me when we stopped dating, I was like, how do you not think about me? Right? I'm being so honest. This is crazy. But anyways, I asked him like, how do you not think of me? Like, that's crazy. Cause like we were on a very similar wavelength. Like we were like yin and yang on some crazy jump. And he was like, this is what he told me. He was like, I had to push you to the back of my mind, but it's like not a day that goes by that I don't think about you, because it's like really hard not to. But in order to get through my day, I have to do that, because we can't be what we were. And it's like I'm still learning to try to do that with other things and aspects in my life, because I feel like earlier you were saying, Clarence, you said that when you are in relationships, you take those as lessons and you look for things that people can teach you. And I do that too. I mean, I even talk to my exes and I'd be like, what did you learn from me? Like, I don't know why I'm like this, but I asked them this, like, what did you get from I know it's so weird. But I have to know. Like, I just feel like knowing will make me feel like I'm doing something. Like, I'm not wasting my time being with you, because I want you to be able to take something that I've either shown you or told you or anything, and I want you to take that and apply it to your next relationship or your next endeavor, and be successful, because I don't like seeing people fail or being unhappy. I'd rather you just like, we can work through things and be cordial, and we can still talk, we can do all that. I just want people to understand, like, I may not be your last resort. I may not be, and that is okay. Like, but you have to understand that the relationship and the bond that we created, it could be a forever thing, And I think that's more important than the actual title of being a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I think it's that relationship that you build with that person and those memories that you make with that person.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. Because just because we didn't work out doesn't mean that we were horrible people. Mm-hmm. It just means that it just wasn't meant for us to be. Some people have to learn to live with that, because they'll just sit there in a relationship trying to make it work when the signs all point to that This was just a temporary thing for you guys to both grow from and learn from.
What are y'all thoughts on marriage? Just I'm curious.
Marriage is just a document and a bunch of papers that say that you guys are together. I personally don't care if we're married or not, because I think the only thing that marriage ties is legal things. Me personally, my love for you doesn't need to be on a piece of paper. It can just be we spent 50 years together and we don't have to be married.
My idea of marriage, I don't know, it's kind of weird because it's like you said, it is just documents and papers and legal stuff, but I don't know. It's just something. It's something about the idea in my head of telling somebody, "Hey, I'm yours. You're mine forever." And not that the ring would, ring is still materialistic. But me personally, I would put a little bit more into that. Like I'm giving. It's not even a ring. Like I totally see what you're saying. I don't know. It's just like I want that finalization, and because I wouldn't just get married to anybody. Literally, like if I would know if that's the one, that's the one. We always feel like we know, but like I wouldn't even marry nobody who I don't know. 10 years plus. Like some people are already. It will take me so long to know that this is it. So it's like I want to appreciate you in a way to show you that. So I would want to, tell the world, hey, we're married. Like it's just something cute to do, though.
I think I was talking to Taisha about this not earlier this year, like maybe 2 months ago. And we were talking about Brad and Angelina Jolie. They were a happy couple, had all these kids, and then they got married, and then everything just went. Phew. And not to say that marriage can like ruin things, because we don't know what was going on behind closed doors, but it just seemed once they got married, something shifted.
And actually, that's interesting that you said that because I remember watching them and really honestly admiring their relationship because I love my space. Like, I don't care if we dating, I don't care who you are. Please give me my space because I value that so much. And when you don't value that as well, I really find that's like highly disrespectful to me. So it's almost as if like, I wonder if that's what happened with them, almost like kind of thing. Like, they valued that freedom where they could go where they wanted to go, but also no, I'm still tied to somebody, so I won't just do anything. But being married, it's almost it I don't know, marriage just give me like shackles and chains almost in a way. So I see what you're saying. It's like you get all these expectations because you say, yeah, we're married. And it's like it don't have to be like that.
And then it's like when I do see people either our age or they don't even honestly have to be our age. Some people use marriage as a tactic, and I don't like that. I don't like the controlling tactic or the you're my wife, you're gonna do what I say. I don't like that. That they got the wrong one if they thought that. I don't think people understand the work that goes into a marriage. Like I grew up in a household, my people married. I mean, they have a great marriage, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when it comes to me and my personal beliefs and my personal values, I am not going to marry just anyone. First of all, what people don't understand is that there is a difference between a boyfriend and a husband. There is a difference. You have to meet certain standards. And just because you think that you're about to lose that girl or you about to lose that man doesn't mean you have to marry them. Because that will not fix your problems, nor will it keep them there. Because it just amazes me how many people, like, because you don't know what's actually going on unless somebody tells you. People still cheat. People step out. People are people at the end of the day. And I've been talking to a few people, and they'll tell me like it's a woman who her husband cheated on her once, but he kept her basically dripped out, made sure she had everything and X, Y, and Z. She divorced him because of that one time he cheated. After that, it was more so like, oh, she was getting boyfriends who was doing her dirty and they wasn't doing nothing for her. So it was like, you have to look at your situation and have to actually be like, what am I going to put up from who? Because this person is actually helping me. Even though he messed up, he still helps me out. And that does tie in to the earlier statement that I made with, you don't know what you're going to do until it happens to you. Because everybody says they're not going to put up with cheating. They're not going to put up with all this X, Y, and Z. But you really don't know.
I believe in marriage. Me personally, I don't need to get married. I believe in it to the point where it's like, if it happens, it happens. But I will say one thing that you should believe in if you do believe in marriage is, if you believe in marriage, you should believe in divorce, because some people have this mentality of, if we get married, we're going to stay married. And I just find that shocking. Just because you marry this person doesn't mean you have to die next to this person. There are ways of getting out of that situation, and people see marriage as, we're in this until the end. And I just think, if it may not just be till the end, it's just until this chapter is up. That's what I believe.
That is interesting, because it has a lot of factors. Like, say for instance, if you're a Christian, I believe that divorce is not a thing if I'm a Christian, because that's not what's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, hey, this is my soulmate, basically. And for you and me, we're together until we die. Now, as for me being a spiritual woman, I already don't believe in the whole we locked in. I'm very in tune with how I feel about somebody and their energy and what they carry and what they show me. And yeah.
To actually go off what Laquan just said about the marriage, even with marrying the right person, I've been watching Black Lightning. I just got done with it, and I admire their relationship so much, Black Lightning and his wife, because they, like y'all said, they married, they got divorced because Black Lightning, she felt as if he was abusing his power. And then when they got back together, because, for their children, and they still in love, mind you, after that, they also kind of fell out of love because, once again, someone was abusing power, but it was just the opposite foot. To see it kind of play out in front of me, it's like, wow. Once you found that person, it's that person. So it's like, I might as well show you something, give you something or something, because you're going to be here forever.
Well, if you ask me, before you get to your burnout point, talk to your partner and see if you can come up with a solution that satisfies the both of you. It isn't good to keep everything bottled up, because the smallest things can set you off, and usually your partner won't understand where the rage came from. This could form a toxic element in your relationship and eventually drive you two away from each other. So communicate and try to gain perspective for the person that you want to be with. After establishing a healthy way to communicate, your relationship is bound to last longer. Lastly, if someone or something is bothering you, or you're lacking understanding inside your relationship, talk to your partner and leave everyone else out of it. Trust that your partner has your best interests at heart, and know that they want what's best for you. That's all we have for DBYT today. I want to thank everyone who tuned in this week. Y'all can follow me on my personal Instagram at _Sanai, that's _SENIH, or at my new Instagram for my podcast at DBYT Productions. If you have any comments, suggestions, topics, or questions, feel free to hit me up on either one of those social medias. If you enjoyed today's episode, you can tune in next week for more great conversation. That's all I have for you this week. I'm Taisha, and I promise I won't bite my tongue.